We just got a package in today that I know a majority of you wouldn't have expected. We got in some new mirrors and today we are going to be installing them, or at least doing the modifications necessary to install them. I'm gonna show you that in a little bit. I've seen these mirrors everywhere on the Bosozoku and Kaido Racer cars, and I honestly just never thought I would ever get them because there's a lot of them that have the factory mirrors that are just painted body color or have that chrome kind of cover. And I really never thought that I would be able to even figure out what the mirror was or be able to get them. So I figured, you know, it's okay. I'll just run the factory ones like some of them do. However, one of my subscribers had contacted me and said, hey, you should get these mirrors. And I was like, these are these mirrors, and so I had to get them. They do have replica ones, but I did go ahead and get the authentic ones just because over in Japan they may use the replica ones. I'm not sure. They do use some of the replica cherry taillights and everything. However, you know that with this build we are trying to make it as authentic as possible, and also we want to buy authentic parts just like our rear taillights and all that. So these are VITALONI California mirrors. I guess they're kind of meant for like Ducatis, Porsches, some other things. I think that now that I see these, I could imagine these on a lot of older cars, but whenever they're on the Bozo cars, they're just mounted so awkwardly that it just makes them look super weird and almost like a teardrop. And I really didn't think I was ever going to be able to find these things, and they just don't look anything like this. Usually they're all painted different colors and you can't really tell the exact shape, but these are the mirrors that they run. And so obviously these are going to mount somewhere along here. This is the wrong side mirror, but along here, and it's just the 2 screws or whatever. But obviously we're going to have to get rid of the factory mirrors, which it kind of sucks because this car came with factory power mirrors in 1987, which is crazy. So we are going to have to take out the whole mechanism and everything, and we're no longer going to have power mirrors, but it's going to make this car that much more authentic to the way they would have done it over there. So we are going to take apart these mirrors entirely, and we're going to make this base flat. So we're going to make almost like a block off panel. So we're gonna have to take this off entirely. We're gonna have to trim this, and then we're gonna have to fiberglass a cap and bodywork it and make it look nice and flat. So that way when we mount our one mirror, this is non-existent. So that is the main part of, you know, getting rid of these mirrors and being able to install those, is being able to make this look nice and flat. I'll just show you on my phone real quick the ones that have it. So you can see this one has it. It's not super Bozo, but got the flares. This one has it. 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 And that was just from the ones that I had on my phone that I already had and then zoomed in and took a screenshot. So you can see a lot of the cars over there use them. I think it's gonna add one more, you know, touch that a lot of people really aren't gonna realize. And I think it's pretty important to do stuff like this because for the most part, someone could build this entire car here, no problem, but it takes these little touches to really make the car look authentic and be more like the real thing. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start taking apart these mirrors and get it down to just this base, hopefully pull this off, and we can start trimming this down and fiberglass that flat. So after taking off this one, I realized that this is a cast aluminum piece, and it's actually quite hefty. I think we'll still be in a good position, but I wasn't exactly too confident about it because if there wasn't this ribbing inside here, I plan to cut this off all the way around except for basically the necessities and all the way down. But this is going to be a little bit trickier. We're going to have to cut and do a lot of grinding to make sure that we keep not only this portion that actually mounts this into the car, but also all this structure here, so that way this edge that we're going to be using is stuck to this as well. So all of this structure inside here, we're going to have to grind it down just enough where the whole thing is a flat piece, but we're going to have to keep all that. So this is going going to be a little bit more complicated than I thought. I also thought this was plastic. I don't know why it's metal. It just seems really, really hefty for what it is. I thought it was basically the same exact material as this ABS plastic or whatever. Anyways, I'm going to take off the other side, and then I guess we're just going to start cutting and grinding this down and very carefully bring this down to where we want it, and then make this nice and flat. I had to go out and get a vise. There is no way I was able to hold these things in place while I was trying to make this cut. That's pretty important. So I got this little thing and I just attach it to the sturdiest thing I have here in the shop. I don't have the most amount of working room here. I could bring this out if I need to, but I think this will be fun. I'm gonna go ahead and continue working on this and hopefully get this cut out of here. Getting both of those cut out was a much bigger and longer process than I had ever expected. I thought I was just gonna be able to cut all this stuff off, grind it down real quick, and that's gonna be it. However, the blades really were not cutting all that well, and then because these are cast aluminum, the aluminum was getting on the blade and it just was not cutting at all. So that took way longer, but obviously after doing the first one, the second one went a lot quicker. Now, we have to try and bodywork these things smooth and at least get them prepped so that way I can get some fiberglass on here. What we're going to do is we're going to make a fiberglass piece that goes across here. That's going to be flat, and then from there we'll bodywork it and make it perfect. I'm not sure if we're going to take one of the pre-made pieces or just fiberglass it like down on the ground or something. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do yet, but we're gonna try and make these look nice. One huge advantage for having this rather than making the thing entirely out of like a fiberglass or something is that we have a factory fitment on the backside here and then with the factory mounting points, so it's gonna be really rigid and just really nice, and you know, with it being like this, it's just gonna be a lot better product in the end. So we got these ground down, and then I went ahead and put some tape over the holes so that way we make sure that we have our holes so that way we can actually bolt it in. I went ahead and taped the back, that way it contains all of the resin and fiberglass. I don't think it's going to be entirely filled with fiberglass and resin. We're going to try and get the resin inside here, but just as long as we get the majority of it, as much fiberglass as possible, and then maybe if we could fill it in with resin, and then from the back side or whatever we can kind of touch it up a little bit, and then from the front obviously we'll have to use some sort of body filler to get it perfect. I'm hoping that some of this kind of sags a little bit once it's down like this. Try and make it a little bit more flat, but if not, it's okay. As you can see, we have our new VITALONI California mirrors on the car. Even though the installation of the mirrors themselves is very simple, the block-off plate here that we made took significantly longer than we expected. Obviously, because we were trying to keep the structure, and because it was so complicated, and because it's made out of cast aluminum, it was very difficult to try and grind through it, and it was clogging up our grinder. I know a lot of you guys aren't going to like these, and that's okay. It's not everyone's style. This entire car is not the majority of people's style, but this is what they do over there, and I like it, and I think it's really cool, and it's just a little bit of a unique touch to this one compared to the other Bozo cars that are being built in America or are built in America. Even though this project took a little bit longer than expected, I think the mirrors look great on the car. For those of you who are interested, we have merchandise in the description, like the hoodie that I am wearing right now. It really helps out me, the channel, and the progression of this car. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed, and peace out.